our common friend Larry Johnson reported the other day that the Israelis are running out of interceptors when it comes to the THAAD system and Patriot system, and we see how Hezbollah is able to hit the targets in Israel. Then at the same time, they're talking about ground invasion of Lebanon and 540,000 soldiers to be used. But when it comes to the capabilities, defensive capabilities of Israel, is that in the calculation? Is that in that equation of Donald Trump together with Israelis? And how is that going to work for Israel?
Well, one of the reasons why Israel felt confident in striking out against Iran at this time is that they had convinced themselves that they had taken Hezbollah off the. I think there was always an understanding from the Israelis that Hezbollah was a loaded pistol to Israel's head, and that if you went after Iran, boom, the pistol goes off. And so they pagered the mid-level of Hezbollah management, blew off a lot of hands, blinded people. They killed Hassan Nasrallah, and they worked with the United States to get the Lebanese government to tone down Hezbollah. They got rid of Syria, which made the lifeline between Hezbollah and Iran problematic. And so Hezbollah went into a quiet mode, like a sleep mode, But don't be lulled. I mean, it's like me looking at this computer. I'm giving a horrible analogy, but I'm making it up as I go along, so it may work in the end. But I've got this computer screen. This screen doesn't do it. I mean, it's a screen. I look at it and I move around my mouse and I think it's the computer, but it's not. It's just a screen. The computer's right here next to it. It does all the thinking. And what happened here is we got everybody to put the screen into sleep mode. And everybody's going, there, we solved the Hezbollah problem. Look at the screen, blank. Nothing there. No mouse moving on, no cursor, can't click anything. But the computer's right here. And if you shake the computer, the screen comes back on. Israel believed that they had suppressed Hezbollah, that Hezbollah is weakened, that they could use the Lebanese government, the Lebanese army as a way of containing Hezbollah. I mean, look at what happened when they told, when the Lebanese government, the prime minister and the president told the Lebanese army to disarm Hezbollah. What was the response of the Lebanese army? Hell no. We ain't touching that. Because they know the truth. That the screen may be off, but the computer still works. And the computer, when it turns on with a vengeance. And Hezbollah would wipe the Lebanese army off the face of the earth. The Lebanese army is incapable of any meaningful fighting because they're not trained for it. They all look good in their uniforms. I'm sure they do a lot of push-ups because they got some, when they roll up those sleeves, they got some impressive biceps and, they got that little chest torso thing going, tapers down. The Lebanese soldiers look really good in uniform. They really do. They're handsome dudes. Get those berets and the haircut. Hezbollah will kill all of them because Hezbollah are damn good fighters and they're still there. Hezbollah, had to do some certain, what's the word I'm looking for when you do cosmetic? There you go, cosmetic alterations, withdraw a little bit from the south. But all the tunnels are still there. Israel blew up a couple missile depots and they took over a missile production facility in Syria and blew it up. And wow, the Israelis are really good. But Hezbollah's not stupid. Again, Hezbollah is like Iran. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. And they have significant resources that have been, saved. Israel fooled themselves into believing that Hezbollah was off the map. And now Hezbollah is back. And Iran has eliminated the bulk of Israel's ability to defend itself. And so now Hezbollah is blowing up Haifa. Hezbollah is blowing up Tel Aviv. Hezbollah is blowing up Tel Aviv. That's an amazing thing. And now the Israelis are going to send in 500,000 soldiers into southern Lebanon. I just want people to think about this for a second because maybe you're not familiar with the military. One of the things that we always did in the military before we would do anything, training, war, you do what's called the intelligence preparation of the battlefield, IPB. And one thing you do is you just look at the terrain and see what the terrain tells you, because the terrain's going to tell you a couple things: where you can go and where you can't go. And so we do overlays of go, no go. And suddenly you constrict yourselves to very limited corridors. Now, but you have to also look at what terrain features can dominate these corridors, because as you have the corridors going in, who controls this terrain here can stop the corridor, not just blocking it here, but up here. So the battle starts defining itself. You can tell right off the bat what key terrain is, what the key lines of communication are, and already you can shape the battle, what we're going to need, what the enemy's going to have to do, and all this kind of stuff. If you try and squeeze 500,000 Israeli troops into the battlefield that is southern Lebanon, you're just going to get backed up tanks. Or you're going to get guys on a hillside just providing more targets. You know, a hillside should probably only take, a platoon spread out as they sweep it. That way, if the Hezbollah opens up on fire, they can take out a fire team. The rest of the guys can suppress, bring in artillery, reinforce with another platoon, move in. But if you come in and put a company online, you're going to lose the company in the first thing. All you're doing is creating more targets, more tanks, more concentration of troops. Where are these 500,000 troops going to go as they get caught up in a traffic jam? Because that's what's going to happen. They're going to start snaking their way up to some unnamed southern Lebanese hilltop village. And they're going to go in there and Hezbollah's going to jump up and bam, hit them. And now they're in a firefight. They got wounded Israelis. You got to get them out, but you can't get them out because you got a traffic jam going on. The traffic jam is going to get hit, rockets, burning tanks and everything. They're stuck. And all those troops are going to be in concentration areas. And Hezbollah's got rockets. And they're going to hit the concentration areas and kill these guys. Please, Israel, don't make it 500,000. Make it 1 million. Mobilize every man. Put them all in uniform and send them to Lebanon so they can all die, because that's what's going to happen. Hezbollah's going to kick their ass. Hezbollah is in an existential struggle right now. Hezbollah before never really did the fight to the finish mode because they were also linked to the Lebanese government. Lebanese government's proven itself to be nothing more than a Mossad front. The president and the prime minister work for Mossad. I'll say it again. The president of Lebanon and the prime minister work for Mossad. Now, it could be directly or indirectly, meaning maybe Tom Barak, the American ambassador, is to Turkey, who is now the Lebanese special envoy. He's a front for them. But the bottom line is they don't work for the Lebanese people. Because if they did work for the Lebanese people, they'd have declared war on Israel already for all the bombing that took place in Beirut and elsewhere. No, they work for Mossad. And so now Hezbollah now knows what has to be done. They have to defeat Israel, and they have to defeat the Mossad government in Beirut. And they will, because this is a life and death struggle for people who, as we've talked about, embrace martyrdom, not suicidally, but they're not afraid. All the other people, all those little Israeli boys out there that are getting ready to go into Lebanon, they're scared. They're scared little boys. You see, they're mama's boys. They're the new generation of Israelis. They grew up with mama, and they're so nice. And they know IT. They're very good. They want to create their big thing in life isn't to work on a kibbutz under the sun and get sweaty and hot and muscles. They want to sit in an air-conditioned office and do an IT startup. That's all they want to do. I want to do an IT startup, because what that means is you do nothing, get all the money, because that's what the Israelis are today. They don't work. They're lazy. And so all these little mama boys now are going to be moving towards Lebanon. But when they take off their helmet, there's going to be little Mishva or whatever the fuck their girlfriend name is. And they're going to be looking at her and go, oh, mama and my girlfriend. Oh, I missed them. They're thinking the wrong thing. Hezbollah, meanwhile, is down there, pooping in a bag, burying it, pissing in a cup, burying it, because they're ready. They're not moving. And here they come, and Hezbollah's going to close one and kill them. Hezbollah is sit there and go, oh, no, Fatima. Forget Fatima. Hezbollah's in the business of killing Israelis.